Hello and welcome to the Audio Dad Chronicles. I'm Shale, and today's CanCon Day, Canadian content times 2. This will be Billy Talent covering Rush's Limelight. So of course I am no stranger to the song Limelight by Rush, because who hasn't heard this Canadian classic? I know I have, but I've never heard Billy Talent cover it before, and we've never covered Billy Talent on this channel, so I thought we should get into that. So who are Billy Talent anyway? Well, for those that don't know, Billy Talent is a Canadian rock band formed in Mississauga, Ontario, Canada in 1993. And the name, though very reminiscent of what might be a punk singer's name, is in fact a movie reference. For those that don't know, Billy Talent was a character in a Canadian, call it a mockumentary, a rockumentary, a documentary about a fake rock band. But it's serious. It's not like Spinal Tap where it's a comedy. It's more of a drama style of a movie. But the band in it called Hardcore Logo, which is the movie, amazing. Do check it out. Highly recommend it. I'm even in it, in fact. During the crowd scenes, during the live concerts, they were all recorded in the Commodore Ballroom in Vancouver. And I'm in that crowd. Anyways, add a little bonus just for the video's sake, but you'll never see me. I am but ahead of the crowd, but I am in there. And the lead guitarist, the main guitarist in the fake rock band Hardcore Logo, is his name in the movie was Billy Talent. And that's where they got this from. Anyways, Billy Talent is covering Rush. Let's jump into this because, yes.
Just the unreal for those who think and feel in touch with some reality beyond the gilded cage. Casting this unlikely role, ill-equipped to act with insufficient tact. One must put up barriers to keep oneself intact. Dream for those who wish to see, those who wish to be, must put aside the alienation, get on with.
Bear with the pause there. I just wanted to take a quick moment to appreciate some of the gear that they got going in their studio. This is representing Canada, but proud. I won't break down everything that's going on in the background. Needless to say, it looks like a recording studio setup, and they got a lot of amps and gear and so on and so forth. And barely visible, but just over the right shoulder of our drummer there is a speaker. I'm sure it's just a small little speaker that they're using for when they're just rehearsing and practicing. It'd be, utilized as a monitor, as they say. And it has the word elite on it. That is a Yorkville speaker made in the Pickering, Ontario, originally named after the Yorkville district of Toronto, and it is one of the places that I worked. Immediately after ending my roadie career, I took a job in marketing and A&R, artist and repertoire, handling the endorsements and the endorsees and things like that for many of the artists that I previously worked for on the road, other Canadian bands, primarily, and things like that. And so anyways, that is a Yorkville speaker. It is near and dear to my heart. I certainly know that system very, very well, and it's cool to see it at use here in Billy Talent's studio. Very, very cool. Anyways, let's let this cover keep on rolling. They're very, very true to the song. They're not trying to reinvent anything on it. That's kind of what you want for a classic like this. But I will say their singer is doing it proud. Geddy Lee's definitely got a unique voice, and so does Billy Talent, singer. And so it is a nice fit. Digging the heck out of this. Let's go.
The fascination, the
Very interesting. For those that aren't too familiar with the whole recording process, since they did do this in a studio, they are, to a degree anyways, they are acting, if you will. We are not necessarily seeing this is not a one take from the band. They are performing live. They are no doubt recording it all, but with the drummer being in the room at the same time as the guitar players and all that, it's very, very unlikely that they were actively tracking the drummer during that. They most likely would have done a single pass on it to kind of get the feel and the vibe, and then they wouldn't play the loud instruments and their strings and all that. And the singer being down the hall at the beginning of the video, we saw him with a different microphone than we see here. That would have been him doing the scratch track at the beginning that laid it all out. So they can kind of sing along with him, get the vibe down, get the feeling down, have him singing with him. But he can go back afterwards when they're redoing their takes and they're doing it professionally with, the one-on-one and isolated instruments and no other stringed instruments in the room with the drummer. And here he is when they're not next door. They're not playing guitar right now. There is no loud amps and no loud drum kit. And he's doing it on a proper studio recording microphone.
Players, performers, and portrayers, each another's audience inside the gilded cage. Living in the limelight, the universal dream for those who wish to see. Those who wish to be must put aside the alienation. Get on with the fascination, the real relation, the underlying theme.
Before we get into the solo, because heaven forbid we ever interrupt a guitar solo, if you do dig this kind of behind the scenes approach that I take, being a former roadie and looking at what's going on in the studio environment and things like that, I highly encourage you to go over to my Patreon page. Over there, I have a lesson on how I do my deconstruction videos. The deconstruction videos, it's a series that I have, and there will be a link above there in a moment as well. It is where I take an original song and I separate all the individual stems so you can hear the vocals, guitar, bass, drums, and listen to them on their own. So we play around with listening to the isolated instruments, and then after all that's done and it's uploaded into a YouTube reaction, I host all of the original stems from it over on Patreon for free. So you can go over there and get them. We're not going to do that for this video today, but I just brought it up because, like I say, they are over there and I make them for free. And I also do a walkthrough on exactly how I do those deconstructions. Look for the song Stupid Much by the Skinner Brothers over on Patreon. And there is a free lesson on how you can do deconstructions of your own, where you can get the tracks, how you can do all the things that I do to separate them. And I intentionally use all free tools. You don't have to have any special software to do it. So anyways, let's get back into the song. We're going to back it up. We're going to let that guitar solo be a solo.
With the fascination, the real relation, the underlying theme.
There he is with the hand mic again, doing a scratch track. And hey, before I forget, if you like this, if you want to see other Canadian bands, do let me know. We do have a Canadian content playlist that you can check out to see what other CanCon we've been covering on this channel, being a Canadian roadie and for me, or current, but non-touring musician myself. I always like to support the Canadian music when I can, independent music when I can. And speaking of independent music, if you've got a band, or if you know a band that I haven't covered on this channel before, or maybe that they're friends of yours or whatnot, do let me know. we do have a Buy Me a Coffee page. And over there, you can make suggestions, you can leave tips. All that money goes towards getting new equipment for the studio. Just invested in a new pair of in-ears. Still got to get a cable to feed it down the back. We'll get that out of sight soon, I do promise. It's a bit of a distraction for me. I keep bumping it. But you can sponsor reaction videos. So if you've got a band or a band that I haven't covered on this channel and you want to see covered, you can sponsor a reaction video, and you can sponsor a regular first-time reaction, or you can sponsor a deconstruction. That's entirely up to you. So head on over there and check all that out as well. It'd be greatly appreciated. We always love the support. And at the end of our videos, we give a shout out to all of our Patreon members, all of our Buy Me a Coffee sponsors. Let's go. How could you not add a guitar to this song? What a cover. That was fantastic. That is a Canadian classic. Rush, of course, one of the greatest bands that Canada's ever produced, and one of the best bands the world has ever produced, as far as I'm concerned. And Billy Talent. I certainly would not call them an up-and-comer by no means. They've been around for over 20 years now, but they continue to kill it. They are one of the best of the best. They are great guys. I've had the pleasure of meeting them a number of times. They're cool dudes. They put on a great show. Definitely check out their channel. Give them a like and subscribe. Support them. Give me a like and subscribe while you're at it. I really appreciate it. It goes a long way to keep me noticed in the algorithm. And I feel like I'm in the middle of a shadow ban right now because my numbers have been down. Traffic has been down. The copyright strikes and notifications have been happening, demonetizations and all that. So it's always frustrating. So giving me a like and a subscribe would definitely go a long ways to help get me back in the spotlight and the limelight where I would like to be. Anyways, enough of the dad jokes, even though that's kind of my thing. I thank you all for coming along on the ride on this CanCon Classic Edition. I hope to see you all again. Peace, love, and empathy to you all. Good night.